right, let's got another episode. This is the best Ugly Money Niche clip I seen. He got a lot of like gems here, and watch this one, man. So I'm not even gonna hold y'all up, man. Check this one out, and we're gonna comment. And we're gonna come back and comment. So I'll do. Let's go.
Do anything, and you can't learn to get you broke, but you can't go mow some grass, you can't go clean toilets at goddamn McDonald's. How the fuck is you broke?
But what I'm saying is there is a difference between a man being a deadbeat dad and a man being a financially unstable person. And just, okay, that don't got nothing to do with him being a father. Come on, everybody get me triggered again. That ain't got shit to do with him being a father. I don't give a fuck. Hold on. I don't give a if I walked over this, if I want to spend time with my kid, you're supposed to let me. I don't care if I rode a bike over this. If I want to spend time with my son, you let me. Because I'm instilling discipline in my son. I'm instilling chastity in my daughter. That's why half these hoes out here twerking and shaking ass and doing all this shit now, because they have a daddy. Because your daddy would have whooped your ass right where you stand if you did half this hot shit these girls be doing today. Not only you me raw, you got my kid and you carried it 9 months and had the now who's the goddamn fool? They don't want to talk about that shit. Oh, now all of a sudden I'm an ain't shit ass because you had my baby? You was me wrong. You let me shoot the club up. I was so great then. I was broke then, baby, but I was good enough to oh, but not, so I'm good enough to fuck raw, but I'm not good enough to teach this kid how to fuck a bitch wrong. Oh!
How the fuck can you teach him to do anything?
And that's how they think. That's how they think. That's how they think. Everything with Keisha is if you don't have money, you can't do this, you can't do that. But you don't have to have money to get the most sacred thing on their body. Think about that for a minute. You can be I got a video on the Patreon that's coming, man, that's talking about these women, these boss chicks, and a lot of these women. And it ain't a lot of times y'all probably think it got something to do with aesthetics or her being big or whatever, nothing like that. A lot of these women got to pay for dudes. They go to the homeless shelter. They go out. They got to pay for dudes. They go to the gas station and get with bums because they don't have the attitude. They don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to treat people. So they got to pay for dudes. They got to pay for dudes. That's why a lot of them let their sons stay in their house for so long. They got to pay for dudes. They got to pay. They got to pay. Tell them, get the Patreon, man. It's going to be up there. They got to pay for dudes to be around. They always talking about dudes tricking, but women trick too. That's what them cougars be doing, man. Them cougars sit around and they do everything for them young men, pay for everything, tell them they ain't got to work, you know, and that's how they trap them. But this is how they think. If you don't have no money, you can't see your son. And you know what money got to, because they want you to pay to see your son. Then go to the internet and say, then they go to the internet and tell people, oh, I don't have no help and I'm doing this all by myself and I just don't have no help and nobody here to help me. But you want people, the dudes that try to come in your life and that try to help you, the dudes that try to come in your life and try to help you, you run them away. You run them away. Because, you know, you asking them for 20, 30, you asking them to pay the rent off rip. But then again, when they get with the Brad ain't got to do nothing. When they get with a bum ain't got to do nothing. A bum ain't got to do nothing. When they get around, stand-up dudes, then they want to attack stand-up dudes. But let me get back on point. You know, this is how they think. And this is, and then their story is, well, you know, he was a deadbeat. He didn't want to be around. No, he tried to be around. Yo thirsty ass ran him off. Oh, if you don't have no money, you can't see your kids. I need 30, 40, $100 to see your kid. You like, I'm paying child support already. Or I just came to check on them. I came to go play catch with them. I came to have a conversation. No, you can't see them. This is what they don't tell you. This is the part of the being a single mother by choice. Then if they move on with another woman, right, they get bitter again. You got to just go through the bitter scale. You really got to go through the bitter scale. You really got to go through the bitter scale with them. Real talk. You'll be surprised. You really got to go through the bitter scale with them. You really got to go through the bitter scale with them. If it's another woman, if you don't have money when they need it, you know, you don't do what they say do. If you don't watch the kid and take off your shift and potentially something happen at, you know, then it's like, oh, you can't see your son, or they can't go out to the club. You got other plans, or you got a family, you know, you doing your thing. Then they don't want to be mother, but they fight for custody. They fight to keep you away from the child. This is how they think. What do money got time for me going to spend and having a conversation with my son? There's plenty of things you can do. I'm not saying the man shouldn't have money, but there's plenty of things you can do without having bread. There's plenty of things you can do where you don't need money. Play catch, walk and have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? You know, the most, you know, of course, the, of course, you know, you need money to do certain things, but the most memorable things once the kid looked back on it was the time and the advice that a father gives to him or her. Those end up being the most memorable things. Those end up being the most memorable things. When I look back, my grandfather no longer here. I still hear the jewels that he dropped in my head. I listen. I may not have always applied them, but now that I'm living life and I'm getting older, he would give me game at 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old that, you know, I'm 30 something years old now. And now I'm like, damn, you know what? I remember my grandfather told me this. Remember he said this. Remember he said that. You know, now it's starting to resonate. So that them jewels and experiences from a man's point of view. See, you don't really understand some of these things as a young man, you know, as a young man or as a child until you start living life. When you start living life, then you start to understand. And then as you get older, you start to get closer to your pops because you start to see what he went through. Like, damn, dad, you did all this shit. You still had time for this. You still made time for me. You still made all these. And now you making those same sacrifices. So now the game that he gave you in the game, if he's still able to give you, you know, now you got a cheat code through life. A woman can't give her child the game that a man can. A man can give a woman, give a young girl the game that the mother can't give her. Because these women is fucking stupid. You know what I'm saying? They are indoctrinating they young women in the black community to be hoes. Listen to me. They're indoctrinating them to do the same thing they did. We tell them, no, don't get tattoos. Don't get a tramp stamp. Don't do this. Hey, if you know, vet this guy like this. We giving women the game, the real game. A woman don't even know how to get a man. A woman don't even know how to domesticate their daughter, teach them how to cook, clean, do all none of that shit for real no more. A man can teach better than a woman can. That's why single men households do better than single mother households. But you know what? That's a conversation for another day. Thumbs up the video, share the video. I appreciate y'all. The real channel is in the Patreon. That link's in the description. Peace.